Who's that kanji?
It's what? So today we're going to look at the kanji for what. And yes, it actually means what. So the kunyomi are nan, nani, nani as a beginning of a word, and nan as a beginning of a word. And the onyomi is ka. So now let's look at the stroke order. So the first stroke goes like this, from top right to bottom left. The second stroke goes from the middle of that first stroke down. The next stroke starts somewhere near this area, but it doesn't have to touch these strokes. So it goes like this horizontally, from left to right. Then we draw a box inside. It's just like I taught you before when we covered the kanji for mouth. It just goes like this, top to bottom, right and down, and left to right. So you just draw a box here in the middle, and then the last stroke goes like this, down, and then it goes like that at the end. This is the same as in month. It does that little flick at the very end of the stroke at the bottom. And here, it doesn't start from the very end, it starts somewhere around here. So that's how you write this kanji. Now, once again, from top right to bottom left, from top to bottom, and it starts in the middle of that stroke. Then this one goes left to right. Then you draw this box, so top to bottom, right and down, left to right. And then it goes down and flicks up like that. Now this part is very important. When you have the kanji for human as part of another kanji, so when it acts like a radical, you write it like this. So the first two strokes right there, those strokes meant human. The basic look of it is pretty much the same. You have two strokes kind of like that, and then you can just imagine a gradual transformation from this to this. So yeah, once again, when you have human as part of another kanji, specifically when it's on the left side, you write it like this. So now let's look at example words. So the first word is read as nani or nan, and it means what. The next word is nanika, which means something. The next one is nannichi, which means what day or how many days. Then we have nangatsu, which means what month. And then we have nankagetsu, which means how many months. This time I have more words that I can fit on the desk, so let's first look at example sentences for these words, and then I'll show the next ones. So for the first word, we'll have a sentence like "Nani o shite imasu ka?" which means what are you doing? For nanika, we'll have a sentence like "Nanika tabemasu ka?" which means will you have anything to eat? Then for nannichi, we'll have "Nannichi Nihon e ikimasu ka?" which means on what day are you going to Japan? Or for how many days are you going to Japan? For nangatsu, we'll have nangatsu ni kaerimasu ka? Which means on what month are you coming back? For nankagetsu, we can have nankagetsu nihongo no benkyou o shite imasu ka? Which means for how many months are you studying Japanese? Okay, so here's the next set of words. We have nansenchi, nanmetoru, and nankiro, which means how many centimeters, how many meters, and how many kilometers, respectively. And if you're from the US, this should be important because you will have to learn the metric system if you want to learn Japanese, because Japanese, just like the rest of the world, uses the metric system. So you'll have to learn centimeters, meters, and kilometers. So here, in all three cases, we're using this reading, nan, and then the continuation is senchi, metro, or kiro. This works for many words like this. There will be many words where you have nan and then some counter. So here's some more of these. We have nannin, which means how many people. And then we have nanbon, which means how many long cylindrical objects. And this one is not related, that's why I put it separately. It's written the same way as nannin, but this one is actually nanijin, which means what nationality. So like Nihonjin means Japanese, or Rossijin means Russian, but if you have nani and then jin, then you have what nationality. So now let's look at example sentences. So these are pretty self-explanatory, I think. You could say nan metro desu ka, which means how many meters is it? So these should be very obvious. Then for nannin, we can have a sentence like nannin imasu ka, which means how many people are there. For nanbon, we can have biiru ga nanbon arimasu ka, which means how many beers or bottles of beer do you have. And then for nanijin, you can have nanijin desu ka, which means what's your nationality. So that's about it for today. Do you know this kanji? We'll see what it is in the next episode. Subscribe here so you don't miss it, and check out the playlist with all of the episodes. Mata kondo!